Hello everyone, welcome back to the second video on Amazon Workspaces. So today we'll be doing deep dive into Amazon Workspace and seeing how to install Amazon Workspaces and how to access and log in to the Amazon Workspaces. Let's jump into the video. So just like I mentioned in the previous video, so for the Amazon Workspaces, we actually need few components. So the first thing what we need is an account to create and configure the workspace, but it's not required for the end client, of course. So once this is created, you can actually, in the enterprise, we usually use the official account, okay, to create the workspaces. So once that is done, you need a network. So just like I mentioned, you need a VPC and also two subnets to ensure availability of the workspaces. You need a directory. It can be simple AD, AWS Managed Microsoft AD, or it can be an AWS AD connector, depending on the size and the number of users. And you need to select an workspace bundle, just like you actually select the bundle while creating an Amazon easy to instance. So similar way, you need to select the kind of operating system you need, the storage, compute, and the software resources. Suppose that you can actually review and launch the workspace. So diving into the steps in detail. So first, for example, if it is in a company, usually there will be an AD. So you will be using an AD connector and connecting it to your on-premise AD. And then you will actually be launching the workspace using that directory. Suppose you actually are going to practice how to create a workspace, then you can go in and follow these steps to launch your own Active Directory. So while creating an Active Directory, this is a console that appears, and Amazon actually provides a few options, just like I mentioned earlier. So these are the options that are provided by Amazon. So one thing is you can actually use the Microsoft AD, or you can go for the simple AD. The difference between the both are basically the number of users that it supports. Simple AD might actually support roughly around 9,000 users, but Microsoft AD supports large. Or you can use an AD connector, just like I mentioned, to connect onto your on-prem Active Directory. So once you select one of the directories that you want to configure, once you select the type, you can actually go for entering the directory information, which is you get an option to choose between standard edition and enterprise edition. So basically the difference is the cost per month and also the storage of the directory objects that they provide. So usually you can go for the enterprise edition. Then choose the VPC and the subnet. So just like I mentioned, you need at least two subnets to ensure availability for the directories. So select two subnets in different availability zones, and then you can go and review and create your directory. So once the directory creation is done, so once you have your VPC set up and also your directory created, you can go and follow these steps for launching the workspaces. You can just pause the video here and take note of the steps if you want. I'll be skipping onto the slides. So going to the workspace launching page, setup page, you'll have two options. One is to quickly set up the workspace for a small group of cloud-based users, or you can go for an advanced setup which includes using your on-premise directory and existing Amazon VPC. So this is the option we choose in the companies. So we go for launching this, and then you go for selecting the directory that you've created. So select the directory, then come here. So when you come here, you will actually have to select the user for whom you're going to create a workspace. So you just have to enter the name of the user or the email ID in the search tab and give search. So it searches in your Active Directory and lists that particular user here. So you'll get an option when you search called add selected. A tab will appear here. So add that selected user. So he will appear here. The first name, last name, and the email ID will appear here. So once you've added user, so if you add, so usually we can actually add 20 users here. So 20 users at a time. So 20 workspaces will be launched. Post that, you can actually select the bundle. So once you create the directory and you identify the users, you go for selecting the bundle. So bundles can be either Windows or it can actually be Linux. So choose the correct bundle you want based on the resources that is required for your workspace as per the user requirement. CPU, memory, root volume, and the user volume can be selected. So once that is done, you come on to the next page where you have the workspace configuration. So you get to choose two types of running modes. Okay, you can actually the way this determines the pay for your workspaces. So you can either go for choosing always on, which is monthly billed, and you get instant access to always running workspace. Otherwise, you can actually go for auto stop, which is free trial eligible and it is built with HAR. So we usually go with always on in the companies. Then go for encryption, go for both root volume and user volume encryption to encrypt your workspace data. Post that, you can just reveal and launch the workspace. Once the workspace is launched, it takes around 20 minutes to get your workspace available. So as you can see here, the first state will be pending. Post that, you can also see after 20 minutes or so, your workspace will be in the state available. So now you will actually be getting an email. Okay, the user will be getting an email with the details like maybe there will be a temporary credential that will be shared to the user along with the link with which he can actually access his workspace over a browser or some of the end client applications. So this tab will actually appear. Okay, so in which you can actually, when you click the link, first tab that appears is to set your workspace credentials. So you can actually give your email ID and set a new password by using the temporary password. Post that, using that same link, you can actually download the application, okay, and client application, and you can actually save the file. Post saving the file, you can go for installation. So you can install it only for you or for all the users in this machine. Click next, install, the very basic steps. So once it has copied all the files and installed, click on finish. Post that, you get a tab like this. When you try to launch the workspace, you get a tab like this, a pop-up, which actually says you to enter the registration code. This registration code will also be shared to you via an email. So when you initially launch a workspace, so enter that registration code here and click register. Post that, immediately you'll get another pop-up asking login with your credentials. So provide your username and the password. In the company setup, you will also be asked to enter the RSA pin. Okay, so you'll be entering your password, then enter your pin along with that, along with the RSA token which is generated using the app. So using that, you can actually sign into your workspace. Finally, you will actually be having your desktop interface installed, configured, and available for your use. Thank you. So this is all about the workspace installation and access. You can actually subscribe to my channel if you like the video and give a big fat thumbs up. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.